In my hand, I have the AirPods Pro 2nd generation versus the AirPods 3rd generation. Which one is right for you? Let's get into it. Now, as you can see, the two cases on these devices are fairly similar, but there are some size differences. When looking at these devices, the 3rd generation AirPods, they do not come across as large as the AirPods Pro. So yes, it's a little bit fatter. These ones are a little bit larger. However, when they're in your pocket, you're not really gonna notice a difference between the two. When I lift them up on their sides, as you can see, the AirPods, regular AirPods case, it is just a little bit fatter than the skinnier one. But like I said, if you're not a tech reviewer and you don't have two different sets of these things in your pocket, you're probably not gonna know the difference at all. They both fit totally fine in the bottom of a pocket. And as somebody who carries a lot of stuff, I don't find it to be a big deal either way, whichever case you're using. One major difference you'll see on the case is the AirPods Pro have a speaker on them, which is so incredibly helpful for when you want to find your AirPods. With the regular AirPod case, you can't find it if it's lost somewhere, whereas with the AirPods Pro case, when you can't find it, you open up Find My app and you can ding these AirPods, and that's really helpful. Because I can't tell you the amount of times where I've been, trying to get out of the house as fast as I possibly can. I've got a AirTag on my keys, and so I hit that, and then I can't find my AirPods, and I don't go anywhere at all without my AirPods. And so when you're looking at the physical case between these two AirPods, I think the AirPods Pro, if you're somebody who's prone to losing stuff a lot, like I am, the AirPods Pro definitely takes the cake. Now, another major thing when we're looking at these two cases is on the regular AirPods case, at least in the one that I have, it is not USB-C, whereas the AirPods Pro, it is USB-C. Now, the reason that's a really big deal is that when you're traveling, if you don't have everything USB-C, it's really annoying to have to bring around multiple different types of cables. You can get one of those multi-cables with a one USB-C plug, which are kind of cumbersome and they're a little bit too bulky. When you can travel around with just your MacBook charger, it makes things so much better. That way you're not losing a bunch of cables, you're not adding a bunch of bulk to your stuff, you just have one cable. And so if USB-C is a big deal for you, for me at least, I have this AirPod case, it has USB-C. Now on a different note, you can get Qi charging with both of these, which these AirPods Pro, it does have Qi charging, whereas these AirPods, the 3rd generation ones, they do not have Qi charging. And so this was just kind of the base model that I could get for the cheapest amount of money. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering. You either want to pick USB-C or you want to pick the regular case with Qi charging. That makes a huge difference. Now a little bit more on these cases. As you can see, when you open them and close them, there is a light on the front. That light tells you whether or not these AirPods are charged. If it's orange, that means it's not charged and you need to charge it up. If it's green, it means they're fully good to go. For the AirPods Pro, when you open them up like that, they come in, you can pull them right out, slip them back in. Now, one thing to be aware of is the silicone case on these guys sometimes gets stuck, so you sometimes need to tap it down to make sure that you have full contact and that they are charging. Whereas when we're using the regular AirPods, they don't have that silicone tip, and so when you slide them in, they just go directly in, and I've never had a problem with charging once. Now, when looking at the actual earbud, they're both relatively the same size, as you can see, which is good. The old AirPods used to stick way down out of your ear. That was a little bit frustrating, but these guys just tuck nicely into your ear. Now, the thing we got to talk about is the comfort of these two different devices. I think you have to make sure that you actually pick a pair of AirPods Pros up and put them in your ear, because for me, at least, what I've found, and I've never liked having stuff shoved down into my ear canals. The silicone that they use is a nice silicone, but it can kind of rub your ear raw a little bit over time. And so if you're somebody who kind of is prone to that, you've maybe used some AirPods in the past or some earbuds in the past that have done that, you might want to steer clear of the AirPods Pro because they didn't totally solve that issue. Whereas the regular AirPods, man, they work so good. They just kind of sit on the outside of your ear canal. And for me, I find that a lot more comfortable. Now, as I said, it has this silicone on the outside. What this does do for you, though, is it makes it so that the noise cancellation effect works really great because it isolates the sound inside your ear. Whereas when you're looking at the regular AirPods, they don't have that, and so sound still gets into your ear hole. And you'll have to ask yourself the question, which one is the right one for you? For some people, they're not in really noisy environments, and so they might be better off with just the regular AirPods because the noise is not going to be that big of an issue. But if you're in a noisy environment and you need the AirPods Pro, they really do work like magic. Like, one of my favorite things to do on earth with AirPods is turn on my Apple TV and watch a movie with a huge soundtrack, maybe something like Oppenheimer. I mean, those are the movies that have massive, massive soundtracks, and audio makes all the difference in the world. But my wife is also a chef, and so a lot of times she's cooking from home and it's a lot of noise, and we can't really interact because she's really busy. And so I'll put on a movie, I'll do that. And with the AirPods Pro, I turn on noise cancellation mode and the whole world just disappears. I mean, it really is like magic. If you are a person who's working in a very loud environment, maybe you're in a cubicle, maybe you work a lot from coffee shops and you just need to be isolated for just a little bit, the AirPods Pro are so hard to beat because they work so well. Now, they also have a transparency mode, which is really helpful, which means that it's engaging the microphones on the outside so that it kind of feeds a little bit of that in for you so that you don't feel like you're completely in your own world, which is, sometimes for me, I have kids, that's helpful to have that transparency mode, but it's also really, really helpful to have the noise cancellation mode. Finally, let's talk sound quality. The sound quality on both of these devices is just fine. You are not buying these if you are an audiophile. If you're somebody who's an audiophile, you're probably buying big over-the-ear headphones. You could buy the AirPods Max, but I've also heard that there's some really great alternatives for a lot less money, and so if that's you, this is not for you. But for the average person who wants audio that's good enough, this is for you. For me, most of the things I'm listening to are podcasts, I'm listening to YouTube videos, I'm listening to audiobooks, and sometimes I'll listen to the occasional movie on my Apple TV. So I'd say if that's you and you're kind of a person who you do listen to music, but you're maybe not a huge audiophile, these are going to be fantastic. You're going to be pleased with either of these devices. I will say that I think the regular AirPods have a bit more full of a sound, but the AirPods Pro having that ability to cancel out the noise, they do sound better probably in most cases. And so that's good news, man. If you're looking at these, they're not crazy expensive anymore. If you're looking at these and you want good sound quality with great functionality, because like I said, these are probably the single piece of Apple tech that I use the absolute most when I'm washing the dishes or I'm walking the dog or I'm working. Like, I'm using my AirPods all day long. Good news is the battery life, I've not had an issue at all with these. I charge them probably once every 2 or 3 days. And that's just because I'm a little bit paranoid. I don't want to be out and have my AirPods die. But for most people, you're definitely not going to use all this up in one day, and so you're good. And last but definitely not least, let's talk price. The AirPods 3rd generation come in at $169 for the regular case, and then for the MagSafe charging case, $179. I would definitely, for the sake of the convenience, go with the $179 MagSafe case because it's just going to save you so much time. Next, let's talk the AirPods Pro 2nd generation. They cost $250. That's a lot of money, but the good news is they do last a long time. Also, you can find some better prices on Amazon. As you can see here on Amazon, we found them for $189, which is only $10 more expensive than the 3rd generation AirPods on the Apple Store. Question is, can we find cheaper AirPods 3rd generation on Amazon? Let's check it out. So as you can see right here, I found them for $161. Not that great of a discount. I would go with the AirPods Pro personally. You got to make your decision. Now, an honorable mention is this. The AirPods 2nd generation still sound so good. They work perfect. If you're making a lot of phone calls and all that, those are, to me, an incredible device still. And the fact that they're $89 is such a good deal. These will still last you years and years and years of great use. And so if price is your biggest thing, go back to those older AirPods. They are still a fantastic product, but if you're going to look at the price between the two, I would probably go with the Pros because it's only $10 more on Amazon. And in the end, you just kind of got to make your decision. I think these are some of the best products that Apple makes, hands down. I use them so often, but there's some kind of questions on comfort. Do you like the silicone in your ear? Do you need that noise cancellation, or are you kind of mainly out for price? The good news is I don't think you can go wrong either way. Apple does have a 2-week return policy. Amazon is really good about that. So if you buy the AirPods Pro, try them out, and you don't really like them, send them back and try the other ones. In the end, Apple wants you to be satisfied with your product. So let me know in the comments below, do you like the AirPods Pro more, or are you kind of more of a regular AirPods person? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like this video if you found it helpful, and if you like this video, you're gonna love this video right here. YouTube thinks so. Go ahead and click it. I'll see you all in the next one.